Hello everyone, I am Arcadia, and today we're going to dive into the fundamentals of learning Roblox Studio and how to create a Roblox game. In order to download Roblox Studio, you can either download the client on a computer, or you can go to create.roblox.com and click download. With that out of the way, let's begin. You'll see this, which is the home tab. You have your recent, your home, your experiences, your templates, and the archives. But for right now, we're going to go and click on new experience, and this will create a new template. You'll start off with a spawn location and a 2048 by 2048 base plate. This is what your Roblox Studio will look like at first. The home tab, the models tab, the avatar tab, the test tab, the view tab, and then the plugins tab. Now we're gonna look through the camera controls. So if you hold right click and then drag, you'll be able to move the camera around, and then WASD will help you move the camera. Now let's get to learn all about these tabs. So you got your select tab, which helps you select things. Then you got your move tab, which allows you to move things by using these arrows, and then you got the scale tab, which helps you scale things by using the draggers. Then you got the rotate tab, which allows you to rotate with these circles. Collisions makes it so no object that you're moving doesn't go through any other part. Joint surfaces is something else that we'll talk about, but it adds welds the part that is being below or onto. But for now, we're gonna just turn those off. And then you got the editor, which allows you to paint and make terrain. Toolbox allows you to access many models and audios and other stuff from other creators. Now you get the parts tab. This helps you add any parts of Roblox. So you have the block, the sphere, the wedge, the corner wedge, and the cylinder. UI, this will take you to a special tab that's hidden. It's called a UI. You can make HUD elements, but that's gonna be for another video. And then import 3D allows you to import FBXs, OBJs, and other types. You got color, which allows you to transform the color of any object that isn't textured. So you just press down the arrow, you can turn this green. I paint that green, and now it's green. And you can also do this if you select something, and then it'll paint it based on whatever the color this is. So you just click it again to go back to select. Material allows you to change the material and look of certain parts. So whatever I selected, so we have a variety of materials given by Roblox to help you start off making your game. Now we have these ones here. These ones are grouping, and allows you to group certain parts together to make it one, but not exactly. We'll get into that in a bit once we get to the models tab. But if you click on a part, you have groups. You can group this as a model, or you can group this as a folder, or you can ungroup it. So if you group this as a model, we can unlock. You just press group, and then you can ungroup it. Then you have lock. So if you click this and then you go to select, you cannot select that anymore. So you have to go to the lock tool again to unlock it. So now that the lock is unlocked, we can move it around. But you can also do unlock all, which will unlock everything that is locked in your game. Anchoring allows you to anchor the part. So if it's anchored, it will freeze its physics based on what it started with, but if you unanchor it, it can be moved with physics. Next is the play, which allows you to do play here, and run. And some of these have keys already, so you got F5, play here, and run. So here, if I move this up by using the green arrow and dragging it up, and I press an anchor, and then you press the arrow, then you press run, it will fall to the ground. But if I anchor this and then we click run, it'll freeze. So it's basically, well, an anchor. Again, if I select it, you press anchor, and you can just go that way. And then if you do click play, let's just move this back to the ground. Play will allow you to play the game like how you usually join a game. So here I'm in Roblox, and we spawn on the spawn location, which is what it's called. So it's basically, again, like Roblox, how you normally join a game, and then if you press stop, you'll stop the game, and you'll return to studio mode. Now, if I do click current client, this will change me to edit mode, but I can move around like I am studio mode, but the game is still running, so you can see my character here. If I click current server, I'll go back to normal Roblox. Next is the model tab. This will have the 5 same buttons again. Now, I didn't go over transform. What transform does is this only allows you to rotate certain objects by this has an increment and here, and we also have the collisions here and the geometric modes, your moves, but here we have the edit pivot and your offsets. So the rotate allows you to offset by something, so if you go to the rotate, it will offset that, but if I have this off or have it at 0, it'll be able to move freely at certain rotation. Move is basically the offset of the move. So if I move this, it will move by 0.25, but you'll have it as 1 most likely, and it will move by 1 stud, which is Roblox's increment. Pivot. This will allow you to change the offset of a certain part. So if again, it allow you to make the orientation or the movement offset, and if I rotate this, it'll kind of just fly up by default in the center, so it's more the equal balance. If I rotate it here, it's offset. Now to reset this quickly, you just do reset button and it'll go back to the center. Now we have unions, intersects, negatives, and separate. Now these are different ways to unionize parts, but let's first go to the view tab here, because this is going to be a necessary tab for making Roblox games. So you have your explorer, your properties. You're going to click both of these, and these are the most helpful thing in Roblox Studio. It can show you what you have in game. We're going to duplicate these with Control D, or you can go to the part in the Explorer and press duplicate. Now as you'll notice, it'll show in the properties like some properties and characteristics of the part. It's color, and it casts shadows. It's color 3, which is Roblox's way of making colors in either way of making it. It could show the hex, the RGB, or the HSV values. And you got the material here also, so you can change that to whatever. You got the material variant, which will help you apply custom textures to a certain material. You got reflectance, so if I slide this, it'll make it reflective and kind of make some sort of mirror out of the sky. Then you got your transparency, which allows you to make how transparent or opaque the object to be. Archivable will just make, if it's disabled, it will not exist. Locked, again, it's locked, so now I can't select it. The name is the name of the part, so if I do parts with a Z, it'll show that in workspace or the explorer. The parent is what it's binding to or what it's in, so the part is in this workspace. We'll go over all of these later. And we have size, which allows you to change the size. So again, if we go to the scale tool, it will increase by the y-axis since we're going up. Next, you got your C frame, which contains your position and your orientation. Now the origin is also not really all different, so if I just rotate this, these are the exact same values, but the C frame is the main part of it. It contains the position and orientation of an object. Now we're just going to skip the behavior for now. Collision allows you to contain physics, so if I turn can glide off and we anchor this part, and also it will show anchored as a check mark in the part area. If we click play, as you can see, we can go above this part, but if we go through this part, we can just phase through it. So that's what can climb can do. And can query and can touch are scriptable actions that you can do. Anchored, again, in the part tab, you can determine whether it's anchored or not. Custom physical properties can show and give the part characteristics, so like the density, the elasticity, weight, the friction, and the friction weight. Massless will make the part have little mass in it, and it'll be easy to move around. If it's unanchored, We'll skip root priority. Shape allows you to change the shape without adding another shape. So we have a ball, we have the corner wedge, the cylinder, and a wedge, and we're just going to change it back to block. And these are named differently. I'm not sure why. Then you got the assembly, which will show you the velocity of the parts. But again, we're not going to go back into that, and skip tags and attributes. So next we have the avatar tab. Again, you have all these, but you have things for accessories, importing assets or meshes, adding rigs. If you click that, you'll be able to generate a rig, so we can use any part of a rig. So this is the mesh avatar is the man bundle, and the 2016 one is, I'm pretty sure, is the Roblox boy bundle. The block avatar is, well, the blocky avatar if you have nothing equipped. The arthro avatar is the arthro avatar. The skinned avatar is a skinned Roblox avatar, which is more their newer arthros, and my avatar is basically your avatar, and you can change the rig type of it either to be R15 and R16. I'm pretty sure you know the difference between these. R15 has more limbs, but R6 has only about 6 limbs. And you can change the body shape to either be a boy or a girl. I can just import my avatar by doing that, and I'll import it into R15 mode. But again, if I go to rig and I press R6 and then I press my rig, it'll put it into R6. Avatar setup allows you to import custom avatars through meshes. The animation editor allows you to create custom animations, but there's also plugins out there, but we'll go into the plugins tab in a sec. The test tab allows you to test different play sessions. So you got, again, your play here and your run. You got your clients, but you can also pause the game. So if I go to play and if I jump and then press pause as soon as possible, I'll pause in midair, but I can move my camera around because it's only the physics that are running. And then I can just go back here, click play, and there's not really a difference between the current since it's again being played too. So again, I just go back and then I can move again. It also frees my player. Now here's something different. We have your clients and your servers. So you can run a server with yourself, and you can change to 0 to 8 players. And if you click play, it'll give you a server tab and the number of clients based on how much you inputted. And then you can press clean up to stop all those instances and tabs. Devices allows you to change to the resolution of whatever device you add your own. So here I added an icon, and I think you can do that by going to manage devices, and you can click plus, and you can add the name, whatever device it's supposed to be, the resolution, DPI, the memory, the width and height, and the keyboard height and landscape. But we're not going to do that right now, so I'm just going to get out of there. You just click that. You have multiple devices that Roblox set up for you. So you got your phones, your tablets, and the desktops, the consoles, and newly the VR emulator, but we're going to get into that later. And you got your player. So you can change so if you test it, it'll allow you to, just depending on what region you're in, it'll allow certain things. So like our paid random items restricted, and our ads allowed, and other things. Mute allows you just to mute the game audio or whatever's going on. And then the view tab. Okay, we're back here, and you got your asset manager. Now if you're gonna have to say this to Roblox, so I'm just gonna name that. So this is a good way to know how to publish a game. So you can type the game name. I'll just call this tutorial. You can change the description. You can publish the creator, and right now you'll probably just have yourself or whatever group you own. Devices allows you to allow whatever device you have selected. Team Create allows other people and your friends to edit your place as well with you. Data sharing allows Roblox's AI to give access to your game and better understand what a Roblox game is supposed to be. So if I just publish this, it'll be saved and then it'll reload back into Roblox. Okay, now we can use the asset manager. So this contains your places. You can add more than one place. So you can see this is the spawn location again, which means it's the base game. It's where you'll first join, and you can add again other places. So if I add that, and you can either remove it, you rename the place of the game, copy the ID of it, and other stuff. Your images allows you to add images, and there's other ways to add these things, but we're just going to go over every tab. So your meshes allows you to import your meshes, your packages allows you to import models of anything. Your audios, where you have your audios contained, and then your models is, well, I mean your models, but these are different. So that's the asset manager. The toolbox is here again. You also click the X to exit. Your object browser allows you to look through every single action and part to making Roblox games and scripting. So you can look it through every child of these. So we have any option or every option to see what action it can do, or what specific part can do. You got your output, which will allow you to see what's going on in here. So you can check your errors, your warnings, your information, your system, or your logs, which allows you to view like scripts. We'll get that once we start scripting, but for now we're just going to close that. Your script analysis will show you any errors, warnings, information, or hints about any of the scripts. You got your command bar, which allows you to run or execute code into this, and it'll run it without even playing the game. You can also disable this by clicking it again, and with any other tab here. Performance allows you to see the performance of everything in the game. The task scheduler, which allows you to show you the rate of every data of every object in Roblox. Script performance allows you to see the performance of a script in your game. Find and replace all allows you to replace and find something in your script and replace it with a different keyword. Team create is, if you have team create enabled, you'll be able to open this and you can view your friends and other things. Terrain editor is the terrain editor. So you have the option to create tab to import. So you can just make something through a height map or a color map and add the default materials, and generate allows you to generate like a random biome of some sorts like Minecraft, and clear allows you to remove parts or all of the terrain in the game. Next we have the edit, which allows you to select as a select, again the transform, but it's slightly different since it has all the axes in one tab. Fill allows you to fill it with something. So if I press here, and right now I have grass enabled, it should replace it, or replace the air with grass. And if you go to replace, you can replace the source, replace the target material, which is the output. The source material is the input. So if I wanted to place the grass with ice, I just click replace, and there you go, now it's ice. And then you got your sea level, which allows you to add water or a boundary of water. We have this area, just like a part, you can just scale it down, move it however you want, but you can't apply any rotation to water except for actually drawing it. But we'll get into the draw in a minute. So you have the option to create it. So now we have a boundary of water, and if I want to remove it, I can just press evaporate with the area I have selected, and then all the water is gone. Next we have the draw tab, which allows you to draw terrain with shapes. So we have the brush shapes, which are the sphere, the block, and the cylinder. You'll probably have the sphere first, but here we have grass. So we can click the source material and it will grow big. If you can use the brush size to scale it down there. And you have plane lock, which if you press auto, and you'll probably have that already, it allows you to like just keep the terrain at a certain height. So if I just do it like that, it's gonna stay nice and flat. Manual allows you to edit the height of it. So here I can just maybe raise it up a bit, and then you click apply. Now you can draw at this height. And off allows you just to draw it whatever height, and it'll probably just shoot up right in your face. But anyway, okay, so for sculpt, you're just gonna have some terrain, but you can also press auto material and it'll just draw extrude from whatever material you have or what you're going off of. So I have grass here, and then they'll automatically grow grass. And also the subtract tool allows you to remove that sculpt, allows you to extrude faces of terrain. So here we have again the add and subtract and our brush size and brush shape, but you also have the strength, so you can lower that and it'll slowly, or it'll speed up the sculpting process. It'll show its strength depending on what strength you gave it. And you can also do subtract as well here, and you can also do cube or sphere, and you also got your plane locks, but you also have your pivots, which allow you to basically, like the pivots we did with parts earlier, it'll offset it. So now it's kind of a bit off the ground. If I do top, it'll be below it, and I'll just sculpt like that. And you also have your auto material again, so you don't have to worry about changing it. And you can also unlink and delink the radius and the height. So if I just lower the height, it's gonna be short. It's like a disc. And you can also do other parts. So you can do the radius. And you can only do this with the cube and cylinder brush shape, since here next you have your smooth, which allows you to smooth out terrain, and you can again use the strength of it, your pivots, and you can snap it. So now it's snapping to each voxel and triangle of the terrain. So smooth it down. It's kind of almost like sculpt, but it refines it. And you can also ignore parts, or ignore water. So I can modify terrain that's not water, and it won't bother the water. Next we have our paint, which allows you to paint with a certain terrain material. So you have all the default Roblox materials. So say I want to just replace wooden planks, or just paint wooden planks, I can just do that. And then you also have air, you can just replace it, which is basically like the subtract from the draw tool. And you can replace a certain part. So again, this is like the fill tool, where you can replace specific materials. So I can replace grass into rock, and if I just paint that, it'll replace it with rock. And I can't do that with the wood. Flatten allows you to flatten terrain, so it'll lock at a certain height. You can change the width and height, and then you can also do like the modes too. And you got your ignore, and that's all in the editor tab. Next we got our chat tab. This is also the team tab, which allows you to communicate with developers on your team, but this is going to be gone in a week, so I'll probably not be able to use it any more longer. The tag editor allows you to add certain parts and groups, so you'll see it right here, and you can just drag it up by holding left click, and you can add a new tag, but we're not going to get into that right now. Call stack, and it allows you to view functions that have been ran in the game. Breakpoints, you can probably just break code. Watch, I mean, this is also the same thing. It allows you to view scripts and your variables and what gets fired in the game, and watches in the watch tab as well. Your activity history will show you what history has happened in your game. So I made a change to console, mobile, and desktop and tablet, because it was default by desktop, mobile, and then tablet, and then VR, but I added console or move VR. And I changed the description, I changed the name, I changed the playability, and other things. The assistant is Roblox's AI, and you can communicate it to make whatever, but you're not going to really use it because you want to be a true developer. Next you have your view selector, which adds this cube on the top right of your screen, but you can move it around, and I can show you the axes of what your camera's facing. So you got your right, and if you click a face, it allows you to move your camera to that spot, and you can also click the corners as well. So I can look at this corner, I can look down, and you can also click the arrows to go to the next one, or whatever face its neighbor's face is on. And yeah, and that's probably what you're going to have in the beginning as well, and you can just disable that. The wind direction, you can change the wind in your game. So if I just increase this, it shows the wind, it's that sock. And this you can change the direction of your wind, and you can I think you can also see that the grass changes with it as well. And full screen allows you to full screen into Roblox Studio. Screenshot allows you to take a screenshot of Roblox, and you can do this either in studio or game mode. Video record allows you to record in studio or game, and you can show a grid, allows you to see what specific lengths and measurements are in your game. You can show that grittiness material, and we'll add a grid to every part, and you're probably gonna have to disable those for now. And wireframing allows you to show every polygon and triangle of every part and terrain and whatever in Roblox. And UI visibility will allow you to show or hide the UI. You can switch the windows to whatever other Roblox Studio you have open, and you can show the selection style. So you can either have outlines, which will outline the part. So let's say we spawn a rig, so you can see it's outlined the character perfectly. But if I change this to bounding boxes, it'll show like the volume or whatever. So it's basically a perfect box no matter what. But you won't see this in the part that's a block. Or you can choose both, and it will show the outline perfectly and the bounding boxes. You can see your stats by pressing F9 to your rendering, your physics, your network, the summary, and you can just clear all that like a cache. And finally, we got the plugins tab. This will allow you to find plugins. Now, I already have some installed, but you can just install them by pressing the plus. It'll take you to find certain plugins that will help you throughout your development. And you have some free tools, some paid tools that are USD or Robux. Now, to wrap things up, we're just going to look above here. You're going to see all the saves you have. You have your new, which allows you to create a new template. That's a base plate as well. You have open from file, which allows you to open a RBXL file of a game. Open from Roblox allows you to open a place that you already have. Close place allows you to close the place you're on right now. Save to Roblox allows you to publish it along with publish to Roblox. These are the same thing, but if you do save to Roblox or save to, it'll publish it as its own game. But if you do publish to Roblox as, you can replace it with a different game, and you can download a copy of the game, which will save it as an RBXL file. The advanced allows you to see other things that you've probably seen, like autosaves, exports, shortcuts, and plugins. Game settings allows you to go back here. Studio settings, this allows you to view the studio tab. The script editor, which allows you to change the font of your scripting, and other parts like the color, strings, and what color you want a variable to be. And you got your diagnostics, your network here, your physics, and your rendering. This allows you to change the quality like you can in the default Roblox menu. So I can just change this up and get graphics. You can also change the mesh detail to be like low quality or distance base from 0 to 4. Debugging and bounding boxes by default. You can reload the assets. You can change your graphics mode to whatever, like Direct 3D 11, Metal, no graphics at all, OpenGL or Vulkan, and you got your cache size as well, and you can also add enable VR mode. The frame rate manager allows you to add the frame rate manager into the game menu. Beta features allows you to show Roblox's new and testable features. So we have a lot here, but we're not going to review those right now. And we have help if you need help on anything. And you can a review of Roblox Studio. And this is also some shortcuts here. You can add a new base plate. You can quick open a game. You can quick open something. You can go right to it. And you also have your play here. You have your redo, which is either mostly Control Shift Z, and then you have your undo, which is Control Z. This allows you to add something as a quick access. So you have your copy, you can add that. You know, I can add copy to my quick shortcuts. And you can add other things by going to advanced. On the right, you'll see this. Now, this is the ribbon. You can just press Control F1, or you click the arrow. You have your assistant, which is again the AI model. This is the notifications tab where you can get notified about new Roblox updates to Roblox Studio. This will show your team crate, and again it'll show you the people in your studio. You can invite friends and collaborators. So if you have any friends, you search in your new username and you add them to Studio. Again, you have your help there, your connection to Roblox, team create. You can share this game. This allows you to go to here, and we should actually review this area. So here again we have the name, the description, the maturity level, your game icon, which can be recommended as a 512 icon. You can add 10 thumbnails. You can add the genre by going to the website, and you can also change the device playability. Communication allows you can add the microphone or just voice chat in general, or the camera, which allows you to use dynamic heads. Permissions again is allowed you to see who it can join this game, either only developers, anybody, or friends. Monetization can allow you to add badges, make this experience paid, add private servers, and create developer products. Security allows you to add many functions to Roblox. So you can add remote servers through HTTP requests, APIs, third-party sales, which allows you to buy stuff with Robux or money, allow third-party teleports, which helps teleport to other games, and allow mesh and image APIs. Places allows you to access the places you have, so I can see the place name, the version, and the number of players it can have. Localization is the language, so the source, you can change the source language to whatever language you want. Text capture, it can capture strings from the game UI while the user plays. Use translated content, and you can automatically translate things in your game by turning on either of these languages. Now, avatar allows you to change the avatar of the player. So, like the avatar plugin, you can change the avatar type to R6, R15, or the player's choice, which is either what the player has, and you have your animation. So you got the player's choice, which is like a bundle that they have on an animation package, or you can choose the standard, which is basically no bundle on. And you have your collisions, which can be inner box or outer box. You can change the height and width and other characteristics of the player. You can change their certain parts of the player, so you can change the meshes of their limbs, their face. You can override the clothes. The world allows you to see the gravity, and you can access this by going to workspace as well. And you can also change the jump height of the player. You can either use the metrics of jump height or jump power. And next you have your walk speed, so it's basically how fast the player can run default. The slope is how high can the player climb for, or at a certain angle. And then here for other, you can use enable drafts mode or shut down all the servers that are currently running in your game. And you can just press save. And I think that's going to be it for now. We're going to do a part 2 on all these things that we haven't reviewed yet, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.